Hello, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast here on Queebe's Facebook page. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it on the radio today for this Beatrice baseball game, but we're able to do it on the Facebook Live, so we're happy to be able to bring you the broadcast here on the Queebe Facebook page. And not only that, but you get to hear the voice like it's a radio baseball game, but also you get to see the picture like it's a television baseball game. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Also, if you're watching in the chat, I just want to make sure that the microphone is connected. Let me know if you can hear me. I see the microphone bars moving up, so this should be good. I'm Kyle Mathas, filling in for Jake Bartecki today here. The winner of this game goes to the state tournament, so a lot on the line for Beatrice, trying to make it to their fourth straight state tournament appearance. They will go up against Concordia, Brownell, Omaha Christian Academy, who are 12-6 coming into this game, and they just came off of a win against South Sioux City 9-3 in the previous game yesterday. Beatrice, meanwhile, took down Crete 3-2 last night. That's how these teams meet up with each other. And for we'll call them Omaha Christian just to keep it a little bit shorter, but for Omaha Christian, they took down South Sioux City 9-3, had a little bit of an easier game in terms of the closeness of it. Didn't have as close of a game as Beatrice, who at one point yesterday, the bottom of the seventh, had, for Crete at least, a runner on third base with the game on the line, up 3-2 with 2 outs. So it came down to the wire on that one, when in reality it should have been a lot more of a breeze through for Beatrice heading into this one, but they're happy to be here, and we're happy to bring you this game here on Queebe. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Kyle Mathas, filling in for Jake Bartecki today, who unfortunately couldn't make it, but if Beatrice does make it to the state tournament, which we're hoping they do, Jake will be back for those broadcasts, so that should be fun, and we will see what ends up happening. Let's go through these lineups really quickly, as we're just about a little over 10 minutes from first pitch here in Beatrice, and we start off with your Orangemen, who come in 15-6 to the game with a win last night over Crete. We'll start with their starting lineup, and then we'll go through. So leading off is actually, funny enough, the pitcher, Cale Cook. He's had an amazing season so far, batting .357 and has scored 25 runs and has 22 RBIs. Batting second, Colin Magnall, who is playing in left field today. Colin Magnall having himself a good season as well. Austin Baldwin bats third. He's playing in shortstop. The cleanup hitter is Noah Jobman, who is playing behind the plate in the catcher position. Trey Henning is batting fifth, who plays in right field. Luke Hamilton has 2 positions technically today, and he's batting in sixth. He's playing second base. He's also the designated hitter. He could come onto the mound for Cale Cook at any time. Gage Walter, meanwhile, is playing at first base. He's batting in seventh. Batting eighth is John Reason, who's playing out in center field. And then finishing out the order, batting ninth, Ty Weichel, who is playing over at third base. So that is Beatrice's starting lineup. The Orangemen trying to make it to state once again after they won state a couple years ago in 2021 with their first state title in team history. Now we'll go through the Omaha Christian Concordia Brownell lineup. They're coming off of a win against South Sioux City, a 9-3 win yesterday. They were actually the first game to be played, so Beatrice was the second game. So Beatrice maybe not getting as much rest. I guess it's not too much of a difference, but that might be something to keep in mind. Ryan Stice leads off for Omaha Christian. He's playing in the shortstop position for Omaha Christian. And then batting second, Nick Johannes, and he is playing pitcher today for Christian. And then Dakota Hughes bats third. He's playing over at third base. Sean Primer is the DH. He's batting in the cleanup spot. Carter Sunday is playing out in center field. He bats fifth. Nolan Sweat playing behind the plate in the catcher position. He bats sixth. Seventh is Ukil Mehta, who is playing out in left. Batting eighth is John Schinzel, who plays out in right. And Cole Cheatham bats ninth. He is playing over at second base. So, also not in the batting order, but playing over at first base is Jake Clarkson, who for Omaha Christian. Well, we're just a little bit away from first pitch. If you're watching and there are any problems with the microphone or there are any problems with the live stream, please type in the chat. Let me know. That's the only way that I will know. So thank you for joining us here. This is Beatrice Baseball, and This is the pregame show here on Beatrice Baseball on Queeby, brought to you by Beatrice Physical Therapy. And thank you for joining us. We'll take a quick minute break and get ready for the start of this game here on Queeby. All right, so that is the national anthem, and we're ready to get underway here with this one. We went through the starting lineups. The Mustangs against the Orangemen here to go to the state tournament. If you're watching and there's any problem, please type it in the chat. We want to make sure to get you the best possible broadcast here for this game here on Queeby Facebook. Thank you for joining us. And remember, please type in the chat if anything's wrong so that we can fix it immediately. So Beatrice, like I said, 15-6 coming into this one, trying to make it to state once again for the 4th straight season. 3-2 win last night over Crete, a little bit closer than some expected, but Beatrice got it done after they took down Crete earlier on in the season, 13-8 on the road, but they got it done, and they're here to start this one. Starting on the mound for Beatrice is Cale Cook. He has been very good this season, not only batting, but pitching too. He starts at a 3-0 record. 8 starts this season, 30 innings pitched, and he has a less than 1 ERA, .92, which is really solid. 40 strikeouts, 17 walks, and he has an arsenal of pitches that he can throw: circle change, curveball. You got a cutter, slider, and that four-seam fastball that really batters sometimes find it very hard to hit. His last start was against Wahoo. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 8 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So Cook looking to start off the game well, and leading off here for the Mustangs will be, as I will flip to the page, excuse me, will be Ryan Stice. So Ryan Stice looking to get the game started well. We'll go through the umpires really quickly here in this one. And the umpires, Jimmy Moats is behind the plate calling balls and strikes. Funny enough, he's the Norris head coach, so we followed him along on Ole Red for the state tournament. Led his team to the state championship game before the loss to Scott Catholic. So he's calling the balls and strikes. The other 2 umpires will be Eric McMurray, used to coach basketball at Diller Odell. Also, we have Ray Mansky, who will be the other umpire. So here we go. Ready to get this one started here, as looks like there's a little bit of problem with the communication for Noah Jobman, but looks like it's good to go. And here we go. Ryan Stice, like I said, leads off for the Mustangs. Concordia, Brownell, Omaha Christian Academy. We'll call them the Mustangs, though, to make things a little bit shorter. So Cook looking to get the game started well, and he winds up pitches. It's up high and outside for ball 1, 1-0. So Ryan Stice this season batting .267, the junior, 12 hits, 18 runs, 12 RBIs. And he leads off, takes a pitch just outside at about the knees for ball 2, so 2-0. We'll see how Cook can start this game. Beatrice took them a little bit to get runs on the board yet last night against Crete. That's a strike down the chute, 2-1. Good pitch by Cook. So you got Stice, Johannes, who, funny enough, pitches for the Mustangs. He'll be coming up next. That's a strike. Beautiful. On the outside corner of the strike zone. Beautiful pitch by Cook. It's 2-2. Then you got Dakota Hughes. Those will be the 3 batters to at least come up for the Mustangs in this top of the first. Next pitch. Swung on a miss. Got him with the fastball up high. And strikeout number 1 on the game for Cale Cook.
Now batting.
Having an incredible season. Like we said, 40 strikeouts compared to 17 walks. That's his 41st right there. So good start for Cook. The Mustangs, meanwhile, coming off of a 9-3 win over Sioux City. They've made it to state 3 times in their history. Most recent was last year. First pitch in there for strike 1, right on the outside edge to Nick Johannes, who will pitch for the Mustangs coming up in the next bottom half of the first. But now he bats, .233 on the season, and laces one right up the middle and through the gap. It's going to be a base hit. Starting off is Johannes, and there's 1 aboard with 1 down. Right past Austin Baldwin and Luke Hamilton standing at short and second. That one was cranked, and Cook tried to attack him with a fastball, couldn't get it through. Johannes gets on board, gets his 11th hit of the season. The senior trying to lead his team to state his final year as a Mustang.
Now batting.
All right, so Johannes gets a hit after the strikeout by Cook. So one strikeout for Cook, base hit given up. And there's a runner on first base with one down here in the top of the first. Cook will go up against Dakota Hughes, who will be playing at third base today. Hughes batting .340. Best on the team, but hasn't played as many games. 5 games played this. Oh, excuse me, he did play 16 games, and he cracks one to short. It might be a double play. Throw to second in time. Throw to first over the head of Gage Walter. And rounding first and going to second off the error is Dakota Hughes. He slides in there. It is going to be a base hit for Hughes, but the fielder's choice will get Johannes out for the second out. Baldwin made the play at short. It is going to be an error, though, I believe, on Luke Hamilton at second on the throw to Gage Walter at first. Let's go through the lineup one more time in case you missed it. At the pregame, Cale Cook is on the mound, Noah Jobman behind the plate. Gage Walter at first, Luke Hamilton second. Baldwin is at short. Ty Weichel is at third. Colin Magnol is in left. John Reason in center. Trey Henning is in right. The DH, technically Luke Hamilton for Beatrice. First pitch right in there for strike one. Next hitter up, John Primer, the DH for the Mustangs. Primer this season batting .225. Where he specializes, though, is drawing 14 walks. He's good at getting on base. Whatever way he can. Pitch down and away. It's 1-1. So if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us on Queebe's Facebook page for this Beatrice Orangeman game. I'm Kyle Mathas, filling in for Jake Bartecki today. Jake will be back if Beatrice can make it to the state tournament, and we hope they do. Here's the pitch. Cracked to first. Nice backhand play by Gage Walter, and makes the play unassisted for the third out. Great play by Gage Walter. Over at first. They do leave a runner stranded on second. Omaha Christian, the Mustangs. And there's no score through the top of the first inning. So here comes Beatrice up. But really quickly, we will take this time to go through some of our sponsors. As we thank Husker Rehab in Beatrice, Fairbury, Nebraska City, and 3 locations in Lincoln. Ag Ron's Body Shop in Beatrice. Burt's Carpet, in Beatrice. Bob Moron, Steve Hovendick, John Guernsey, Mark Simonson, and John Dines at Edward Jones member SIPC. And Exmark, the leading brand of mowing equipment for the landscape professional. Thank you to our sponsors sponsoring this game today. All right, really quickly, we'll go through these starting lineup on the field for the Omaha Christian Mustangs. On the mound is Nick Johannes. Behind the plate is Nolan Sweat. At first, Jake Clarkson. At second, Cole Cheatham. At short, Ryan Stice. At third base, Dakota Hughes. Out in the field and left, it's Akil Mehta. Carter Sunday is in center. John Schinzel is in right. The DH today for the Mustangs is John Primer, who actually came up back in the first inning and was the out to first base as the third out. Let's go through the lineup for Beatrice really quickly as they're ready to get started. They're in their all-white uniforms with white helmets. Looks pretty clean. And they'll be hoping they can get something going here. Cale Cook will lead off. Colin Magnol is the second batter up. Austin Baldwin is third. Noah Jobman's in the cleanup spot. Trey Henning is batting fifth. Luke Hamilton is sixth. Seventh is Gage Walter. Batting eighth is John Reason. And at the bottom of the order in ninth, Ty Weichel. So Cale Cook gets into the stance and fouls this one out to right field. On the run is going to be Schinzel, but can't get to it in time. It's 0-1. Thank you for joining us on the Queebe Facebook page. It's a little bit of a win-win today because we broadcast it like it's a radio broadcast, yet you have the visuals. You can see what's going on a little bit. We want to zoom it in, but it would end up being blurry. There's a blooper out into left center, and it goes down. Cook has a base hit to lead things off for Beatrice. Went right over the head of Ryan Stice, the shortstop. And it's going to be Cook on first to lead this game off for Beatrice as Colin Magnol comes up. Cook has had an incredible season so far for Beatrice, batting .357, 22 RBIs, and gets his 26th hit. Here is a pinch runner. Trayson Russell will pinch run for Cale Cook since Cook is on the mound. Don't want to make him too tired.
Number 5.
So Trayson Russell is on first. Here's Colin Magnol up to bat. Magnol playing left field today. Hoping he can get this, get Russell running. First pitch. Shows bunt. And it's in there for strike one. Wasn't able to get contact with it, Magnol. Magnol coming into this game set a school record for stolen bases in a game with 4 against Auburn earlier on this season. Led Beatrice in stolen bases next year. So if he gets on base, let's see if he will decide to start stealing. It might be tougher if Russell's ahead of him. Shows bunt again. It's down and away for ball 1-1. Let's take a look here at the starting pitcher here for the Mustangs of Omaha Christian, Nick Johannes. 1.60 ERA, 2-3 record on the season, and 6 starts. 26 hits allowed. He's got 54 strikeouts as they check on Russell at first. He's in there safely. This is an insane stat, though, when you look at it. Johannes, 54 strikeouts, 9 walks all season in 35 innings pitched. It's safe to say he is the Mustangs' ace, and he's out there to start the game. Shows bunt right in front of the plate, picked up by Nolan Sweat. Throw to first, down, and goes past him. Running to third is Russell. Russell gets at third. It's an error by Nolan Sweat. Russell gets all the way to third. The ball hopped right up on Jack Clarkson at first and went right by him out into foul territory over by right field. Getting there is Magnol after the bunt attempt. And runners on the corners now for the Orangemen with no outs here in the bottom of the first. So Sweat had to make a tough play. Threw it in the dirt. It hopped up right past Jake Clarkson, the first baseman, and into right foul territory. Getting Magnol at base safely, and Russell was able to not only stop at second, but be able to get to third. So that sets up Magnol now. He did lead the team last year in stolen bases, so he does have second base free if he wants it. See if he takes off. He will. He'll take off and run. Magnol, can he get there safely? He will. Steals a base. So runners on second and third now for Beatrice. No outs. Magnol on second. It's Trayson Russell on third. After Cale Cook got a base hit to lead things off. Austin Baldwin comes up to the plate. It's 1-0 to Baldwin. Here's the next pitch. Baldwin fouls that one back. And it's 1-1. Johannes for the Mustangs has had an incredible season. 547 pitches in total, but that strike to ball ratio is really, really good. That one's fouled off, and it's 1-2 here to Baldwin. So Baldwin batting .352 this season, 25 hits. Key stat line now, 17 RBIs. He's got 2 runners in scoring position at second and third with no outs. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Johannes. On the way. Is it in there? Just a tad outside, and it's ball 2. 2-2. Thank you for joining us here on the Quebe Facebook page. We're glad to be able to bring this game to you, despite a little bit of conflict with what was on the radio station. This one's cracked out into foul right territory, and it's going to land in the field over to the right side.
Please return all foul balls to the concession stand or third base dugout.
So still 2-2, and Baldwin making things difficult on Johannes, who just wants to get through this batter and bring up Noah Jobman, who is on deck in the cleanup spot. Baldwin playing shortstop for Beatrice and cracks one out to deep left field. Ukil Mehta is going to make the catch. Tagging and scoring is Russell, and Beatrice is on the board. It's 1-0. So it's a sacrifice fly by Baldwin for the first out. Staying at second base is Magnol. Scoring on a tag play is Trayson Russell after the base hit by Cale Cook to lead things off, and Beatrice is up 1-0 in this game.
The catcher.
Here's the catcher, Noah Jobman. Beatrice is dugout over there, getting pretty hyped from what I can hear. They understand how important it is to have a lead. They had the lead the entire game against Crete. First pitch to Jobman, cracked right back to short. Ryan Stice makes the play, throw to first. Did he beat him? Not quite. And there's 2 down. Noah Jobman is out. It's a 6-3 second out, but advancing to third base is Magnol. So now there's a runner on third base. As up comes the 5-hole hitter, Trey Henning, the right fielder.
Fielder, number 28.
Coming into this game, Grandview University in Des Moines, Iowa commit. Fortunately went 0-3 against Crete. Fouls one back. It's 0-1. .352 batting average for Henning this season. A lot of these Beatrice players over 300 batting average. That is an impressive feat when you have that many players over 300. From what I can count, it's 5 batters over 300. Here's the 0-1, and that is fouled, and it's 0-2. If you're just joining us, the score is 1-0. Beatrice in the lead here in the bottom of the first. 2 outs, runner on third base. And it's Trey Henning with Luke Hamilton on deck. The 0-2. Pitch outside and away. It's 1-2. Johannes has had an incredible season, the senior. But he's going up against quite the Beatrice offense, which made things more difficult. Something that you expect at this point in the season. Pitches one down and away, and it's a strikeout for Johannes, his first of the game. But Beatrice gets a run on the board, courtesy of Cale Cook's single, and Trayson Russell, the pinch runner, gets home, and it's 1-0 after the sacrifice fly by Austin Baldwin. Beatrice up 1-0 through the first inning. Top of the second coming up next on Queeby's Facebook page. All right, welcome back to Beatrice Baseball here on Queeby's Facebook page. This game is brought to you by Beatrice Family Chiropractic, Dr. R.J. Crandall, Beatrice Community Hospital and Health Center, Lamel Plumbing, Holes Body Shop, and Gleason Dental Clinic in Beatrice, as well as It All Started with a Beer, Custom Light Fixtures, South 4th Street, Beatrice. All right, 1-0 Beatrice through the first inning. Top of the second about to get underway. Cale Cook on the mound. 1 strikeout in the first inning. Struck out Ryan Stice. Carter Sunday leads off for the Omaha Christian Mustangs. Sunday playing out in center.
Number 20, Carter Sunday.
See what Cook can do on the mound here. First pitch here to Sunday. And it's right at the knees. That's a beautiful pitch by Cook, right at the bottom portion of the strike zone. Not much Sunday can do about that one. It's 0-1. Second pitch on the way. And that's a tad outside, and it's 1-1. Sunday plays for the basketball team at Concordia, Omaha. This is 3 schools mashed into one co-op. Here's the 1-1. Nice fastball there from Cook. It's 1-2 on a swing and a miss by Sunday. So this inning, it would be Carter Sunday, Nolan Sweat, and Akil Mehta. Those are the 3 batters guaranteed to come up in this top of the second. Next pitch from Cook. That's cracked on the ground. 1 hop straight to Ty Weichel at third. Throw across the diamond in time. And there's 1 down. Great play from Weichel over at third base. He fielded that on a hop, and whenever the ball's on just a 1-hopper, it always makes it difficult because the ball stays up in the air a little bit longer than usual. So you just kind of have to wait for it over at third and short, and then you have to use the power of your arm getting the ball over there. Here's Nolan Sweat, the catcher, coming up to the plate here for the Mustangs. First pitch in there, strike 1. Jimmy Moats calling the balls and strikes. He is the Norris basketball coach, led them to a state championship game appearance this season. Unfortunately, they lost to Scott. They'll be hoping to be back in that situation next year. There's a great pitch. Laces the outside edge. It's 0-2. So Cook is ahead on Sweat. The 0-2. Cracked to third and foul down the left foul line. So it'll still be no balls and 2 strikes with 1 down in the top of the second. All right, so Sweat this season has had a good year so far and takes one inside, nearly hit him. It's 1-2. It's getting some heckling from the Mustangs dugout over there to our right. A ball and 2 strikes. The pitch down in the dirt, 2-2. This is what Sweat does very, very well. He's able to keep these at bats longer. The pitch got him. Oh, not quite. Noah Jobman was ready to throw it over to the third. He thought the strike was in there. Not quite. Rings up the count full at 3-2. I can see why Jobman thought that. That was a very close pitch. Moats didn't think it was a strike. The 3-2. High fly ball out to center field. John Reason's got a read on it and makes the catch. It hung up there enough. And there's 2 down. Akil Mehta comes up to bat here. Played for the Axarben Cardinals travel baseball team in 2022 at shortstop in Omaha. So most of this Omaha Christian team has played for a travel baseball team, or at least an American Legion team. He's one of them. Batting 7th in the order, playing out in left. Swings and misses at a fastball. Strike 1 from Cook. Meta this season batting .220. 9 hits on 41 at-bats. Takes one there. Off-speed pitch in there at the knees of Meta. Strike 2, 0-2. One thing that I'm noticing from Cook that he's doing so well is he's getting ahead in these counts very quickly. Here's the 0-2. Off the bat, over to second base. Luke Hamilton picks it up, fields it, throws it to first, and that'll do it for the top of the second. A 1-2-3 inning for the Omaha Christian Mustangs. Beatrice comes up to bat next. In the bottom of the second inning, they lead by 1-0. Bottom of the second, coming up next on Queebee's Facebook page. All right, welcome back to Queebee's broadcast of Beatrice baseball. Winner to the state tournament. Beatrice trying to make it to their 4th straight state tournament appearance. Omaha Christian trying to make it to their 2nd straight state tournament appearance. They made it to state last season, Omaha Christian, and had a great year. Ended up, unfortunately, losing to Malcolm to open up the tournament, beat Douglas County West, but then lost to Platteview to end their tournament. This game, by the way, is brought to you by Sunrise Bakery, Norris Public Power, Twin Rivers Chrysler, Jeep Dodge Ram, West Court Street, Beatrice, Clawbaugh Pharmacy and Gift Shop in Beatrice, and Diode Communications and Diode Technologies of Diller. All right, bottom of the second, about to get underway. And a foul ball immediately to the leadoff man, Luke Hamilton, who is playing second base, but also technically the DH as well. Nick Johannes had a good first inning. He did give up a run, but was able to calm the fire that Beatrice was hitting with their bats, and that one's outside. It's 1-1. Johannes did have a strikeout to end the inning to Trey Henning, which ends up being his 55th of the season. Here's the pitch, off speed but high, up at the letters in the all-white jersey for the Orangemen, and it's 2-1. Omaha Christian in their navy blue tops, white pants. That one's fouled off by Hamilton, and it's 2-2. Hamilton, 208 batting average. Older brother Connor is a catcher at Doane. 0-3 with struck out twice against Crete last night. Here's the 2-2. Just a tad low, and it's 3-2. Just about where the shins are of Hamilton. Gage Walter is on deck. This Beatrice team last night against Crete just did not have their normal offensive game. This one's grounded to third. Picked up on a backhand. Dakota Hughes has trouble with it. Throwing across the diamond. Wow, he got it in time. Dakota Hughes just made a great play at third. He had trouble fielding the backhanded ground ball at first, and made a phenomenal throw across the diamond. That just shows the strength there of Dakota Hughes over there at third. Here's Gage Walter coming up is the first baseman, the senior, batting 105. 0-1 against Crete, but did have a walk and was hit by pitch. Fouls this one off. Goes into the parking lot. So 0-1. Beatrice this season, only losses come to Norris, Whitley, Blair, Platte Valley, Malcolm, and Nebraska City. As that one's swung on a miss, it's no balls and 2 strikes with 1 down here in the bottom of the second. Gage Walter at the plate. John Reason is on deck, batting 8th. This one smacked over the head of Ryan Stice, the shortstop, and into center field, and it's going to be a base hit for Gage Walter. Great piece of hitting there. It was 0-2, and he still got the pitch that he wanted and cracked it over the head of the shortstop. Great hit there from Walter. Only his 3rd hit of the season, and gets one in a big game. Thank you for joining us here on Queebee's Facebook page. I'm Kyle Mathas, filling in for Jake Bartecki today. Jake will be back if Beatrice can make it to the state tournament. Pitch right at the knees there of John Reason for strike 1. Reason, lead Orangeman football running back, was mainly used as a pinch runner last year, but this year he's got more playing time. 214 on the season, 12 hits. Shows bunt, bunts it foul, and over the stands to our right. 6 RBIs, is second on the team behind Jobman. So he can get runners home. Does have a runner at first as well with Walter. But it's no balls and 2 strikes here for Johannes. That one's just a tad high, and it's ball 1. Walter doesn't have any stolen bases this season, but they are checking on him, making sure. That's a curveball, just a tad inside, and it's ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 Beatrice leads it over the Omaha Christian Mustangs. These are 3 schools combined. There's a swing and a miss there. Got him with the fastball. Second strikeout of the game for Nick Johannes. And Reason goes down for the second out. Here's Ty Weichel, the bottom of the order, coming up to bat for Beatrice.
Number 4, Ty
Weichel, 208 batting average this season. The junior, 0-9 at the plate so far to start the year, but he is a good pitcher. And see if he can get on base. This one's popped up high in the air over in left foul territory. This might be in play and not able to be caught there by Dakota Hughes over at third. The wind isn't really too much of a factor today. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. It's supposed to get all the way near 70 degrees by the time this game is close to finished. It's about in the lower 60s right now. It's sunny. Not really many clouds in sight after some of the weather that we've had over the last few weeks. This is a great day for baseball. And the wind isn't too bad, like I said, which always helps the infielders and outfielders a little more. Here's the 0-1. Just a tad high for ball 1. So Weichel comes in 11 hits. Does have 3 doubles. They check over at first on Walter. He's in there safely. So the winner to the state tournament, Concordia, Brownell, Omaha Christian Academy versus Beatrice. This one's cracked high in the air out into left foul territory. On the run is Akil Mehta over in foul ground, and that's going to land too far and in the bullpen over there. So you can see right now Weichel is ahead on these pitches. Johannes trying to throw him some off-speed pitches to get him to pop up foul. But he's cracking these into left field for the most part. See if he can get on top of one right at the perfect time. Curveball, just a tad outside, and it's ball 2. 2-2. 2 down. Gage Walter over at first. On deck would be Cale Cook, the leadoff man, who did get on base in the first with a single. Ended up not scoring a run, but his pinch runner did, Russell. There's a pitch inside, and that's a check swing there from Weichel. Stays alive in the count. Full count here for Johannes. Let's see if he ends up trying to get him to swing with an off-speed or if he ends up attacking the strike zone here with a fastball. Full count pitch here to Weichel. It's just a tad high, and that is ball 4. A full count walk for Weichel. And Beatrice has 2 aboard as Walter gets to second base. He was going to try to steal it anyways if any contact was made by Weichel. But Weichel's at first off a walk. Walter's at second. Get a mound visit here early on Johannes, who has had an amazing season but has went up against some good Beatrice offensive players. And they not only have gotten on base with hits, but they've also been able to make some of these at-bats longer than Johannes would want. Yet Johannes does have 2 strikeouts so far here through the first 9, as we will get to the top of the order with Cale Cook, who got a single back in the first. Trayson Russell was his pinch runner. Russell came around and scored off of an error, made it to third off an error, and then it was a sacrifice fly by Austin Baldwin, which brought him home. So it was just a talking to by Johannes. Dan Kraft came out and talked to him.
Number 7.
Nothing more than that. This game is brought to you by Homestead House, your life, your style, Plymouth Irrigation, your local Zematic dealer, and Plaza Ridge Dental for the smiles in your world, as well as Taco John's. Johannes will go up against Cook. First pitch now, just down and away, but it's still in the strike zone, 0-1. Great pitch by Johannes to respond to the pressure that Beatrice is putting on right now. No balls and a strike. 2 down, though. Runners on first and second. 1-0 Beatrice leads. Cook takes the pitch in there again. Same location on the bottom half of the strike zone, down and away. No balls and 2 strikes, so Cook is behind. Cook this season, 22 RBIs. Drove in the go-ahead runs last night. Can he bring home more runs today? Pitch outside. They check on second base. They might get him here. They do. What a heads-up play by Nolan Sweat, the catcher. Gage Walter had a huge lead at second. Sweat made the throw, and Ryan Stice made the tag. It's a mistake from Walter for the third out. So they cannot make anything happen in terms of bringing in runs, yet they do leave 2 stranded. 1-0 Beatrice through 2. When we head to the top of the third, it's still 1-0 Beatrice.